When I was considerably younger, I recited poetry in public, sometimes recorded for radio, particularly in Paris, with a colleague, and used to make tapes of my particular favourites, which I would also recite. Obviously, when I did so for the Byron Society at venues like Newstead and Hucknall, it was exclusively the Romantics, particularly Lord Byron. And I'm delighted to say that recently I discovered some lost tapes that, although the worse for wear, I shall share with you, despite their poor reproduction quality.
Of the bitter shafts of love that poison human veins, lost opportunity excites the cruelest pains. An hour too late, and all we touch and see turns to a frozen wall of misery, like drops of burning rain that ghastly what might have been torments our wretched brain with its litany obscene, and our heart gives one wild cry against the unchanging law. Let eternity go by, and the past be as before. Welcome the uttermost harms that hell holds in its power, so I clasp her once in my arms, as I might have in that hour. Sweet, compassionate tears have dimmed my earthly sight, tears of love, the showers wherewith the eternal morn is bright, dews of the heavenly spheres. With tears my eyes are wet, tears not of vain regret, tears of no lost delight. Dews of the heavenly spheres have dimmed my earthly sight. Sweet, compassionate tears. Nothing is joy without thee. I can find no rapture in the first relays of spring, in songs of birds, in young buds opening. Nothing inspiriting and nothing kind, for lack of thee who once wert thrown behind all beauty, like a strength where graces cling, the jewel and heart of light, which everything wrestled in rivalry to hold enshrined. Hearken, oh dear, now strikes the hour we die. We, who in one strange kiss have proven a dream the world's realities, turned each from others' darkness with a sigh, need heed no more of life, waste no more breath on any other journey but of death. And yet, oh know we well, how each of us must prove love's infidel, still out of ecstasy turn trembling back to earth's same empty track of leaden day by day and hour by hour, and be of all things lovely the cold mortuary. I am dying, but what of that? Your hands are under my head, and your tears are on my cheek, and I am happy at last. Bitter has been the pain. Yea, I have paid the price for this last moment with you, but all is well at the end. Your hands are under my head, and your tears are on my cheek. So you love me after all, and I bless the eternal dark into which I sink and fall, that I found you at the last. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek, and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Hushed are the winds and still the evening gloom, not e'en a zephyr wanders through the grove, whilst I return to view my beloved's tomb, and scatter flowers on the dust I love. Within this narrow cell reclines her clay, that clay where once such animation beamed. The king of terrors seized her as his prey, not worth nor beauty have her life redeemed. Oh, could that king of terrors pity feel, or heaven reverse the dread decrees of fate? Not here the mourner would his grief reveal, not here the muse her virtues would relate. But wherefore weep? Her matchless spirit soars beyond where splendid shines the orb of day, and weeping angels lead her to those bowers where endless pleasures virtue's deeds repay. And shall presumptuous mortals heaven arraign, and madly godlike providence accuse? Oh no, far fly from me attempts so vain, I'll ne'er submission to my God refuse. Yet is remembrance of those virtues dear, yet fresh the memory of that beauteous face. Still they call forth my warm affection's tear, still in my heart retain their wonted place. roses of love glad the garden of life, though nurtured mid weeds dropping pestilent dew, till time crops the leaves with unmerciful knife, or prunes them forever in love's last adieu. In vain with endearments we soothe the sad heart, in vain we do vow for an age to be true. The chance of an hour may command us to part, or death disunite us in love's last adieu. Still hope, breeding peace through the grief-swollen breast, will whisper how meeting we yet may renew, with this dream of deceit half our sorrows repressed, nor taste we the poison of love's last adieu. Oh, mark you yon pair in the sunshine of youth, love twined round their childhood, his flowers as they grew. They flourish a while in the season of truth, till chilled by the winter of love's last adieu. Sweet lady, why thus doth a tear steal its way down a cheek which outrivals thy bosom in hue? Yet why do I ask, to distraction a prey? The reason has perished with love's last adieu. Oh, who is yon misanthrope, shunning mankind? From cities to caves of the forest he flew. There, raving, he howls his complaint to the wind. The mountains reverberate love's last adieu. Now hate rules a heart which in love's easy chains once passion's tumultuous blandishments knew. Despair now inflames the dark tide of his veins. He ponders in frenzy on love's last adieu. How he envies the wretch with a soul wrapped in steel. His pleasures are scarce, yet his troubles are few. Who laughs at the pang which he never can feel, and dreads not the anguish of love's last adieu. Youth flies, life decays, even hope is o'ercast. No more with love's former devotion we sue. He spreads his young wing, he retires with the blast. The shroud of affection is love's last adieu. In this life of probation for rapture divine, Astrea declares that some penance is due. From him who has worshipped at love's gentle shrine, the atonement is ample in love's last adieu.
When we two parted in silence and tears, half broken-hearted to sever for years, pale grew thy cheek, and cold, colder thy kiss. Truly that hour foretold sorrow to this. The dew of the morning sunk chill on my brow. It felt like the warning of what I feel now. Thy vows are all broken, and light is thy fame. I hear thy name spoken, and share in its shame. They name thee before me, a knell to mine ear. A shudder comes o'er me, why wert thou so dear? They know not I knew thee, who knew thee too well. Long, long shall I rue thee, too deeply to tell. In secret we met, in silence I grieve, that thy heart could forget, thy spirit deceive. If I should meet thee after long years, how should I greet thee? With silence and tears. Farewell, if ever fondest prayer for others' weal availed on high. Mine will not all be lost in air, but waft thy name beyond the sky. 'Twere vain to speak, to weep, to sigh, or more than tears of blood can tell, when wrung from guilt's expiring eye, are in that word, farewell, farewell. These lips are mute, these eyes are dry, but in my breast and in my brain awake the pangs that pass not by, the thought that ne'er shall sleep again. My soul nor designs nor dares complain, though grief and passion there rebel. I only know we loved in vain, I only feel farewell, farewell. Longer mourn for me when I am dead, and you shall hear the surly bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world, with vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you hear this, remember not the voice that spake it, for I love you so, that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot, if thinking on me then should make you woe. Oh, if, I say, you look upon my voice when I perhaps compounded am with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love, even with my life, decay. Lest the wise world should look into your moan, and mock you with me after I am gone. So light we were, so right we were, so fair faith shone, and the way was laid so certainly, that when I'd gone, what dumb thing looked up at you? Was it something heard, or a sudden cry that meekly and without a word you broke the faith, and strangely, weakly slipped apart? You gave in, you, the proud of heart, unbowed of heart. Was this, friend, the end of all that we could do? And have you found the best for you, the rest for you? Did you learn so suddenly, and I not by, some whispered story that stole the glory from the sky, and ended all the splendid dream, and made you go so dully from the fight we know, the light we know? Oh, faithless, the faith remains, and I must pass, gay down the way, and on alone, under the grass you wait. The breeze moves in the trees, and stirs and calls, and covers you with white petals, with white petals. There it shall crumble, frail and fair, under the sun, O little heart, your brittle heart, till day be done, and the shadows gather, falling light and white with dew, whisper and weep and creep to you. Good sleep to you. And if forever, still forever, fare thee well, even though unforgiving, never 'gainst thee shall my heart rebel. Tenderly, day that I have loved, I close your eyes and smooth your quiet brow and fold your thin dead hands. The grey veils of the half-light deepen, colour dies. I bear you a light burden to the shrouded sands, where lies your waiting boat by wreaths of the sea's making, mist garland with all grey weeds of the water crowned. There you'll be laid, past fear of sleep or hope of waking, and over the unmoving sea, without a sound, faint hands will row you outward, out beyond our sight. Us with stretched arms and empty eyes on the far gleaming and marble sand, beyond the shifting, cold twilight. Further than laughter rose or tears, further than dreaming, there'll be no port, no dawn-lit islands, but the drear waste darkening, and at length flame ultimate on the deep. Oh, the last fire, and you unkissed, unfriended there. Oh, the low ways red ending, and we there not to weep. We found you pale and quiet, and strangely crowned with flowers. Lovely and secret as a child, you came with us, came happily hand in hand with the young dancing hours, high on the downs of dawn. Were it now and tenebrous, the grey sands curve before me, from the inland meadows, fragrant of June and clover, floats the dark and fills the hollow sea's dead face with little creeping shadows, and the white silence brims the hollow of the hills. Close in the nest is folded every weary wing, hushed all the joyful voices, and we who held you dear, eastward we turn and homeward alone, remembering day that I loved, day that I loved, the night is here.